For a Patriot League women's volleyball showdown, the Greyhounds of Loyola have rolled into town to take on the Bison of Bucknell. Coming up next on the Bison YouTube channel. Alongside Coach Quipo Tom, Greg Kimmel, Jack Ridenauer, all here with you. Gentlemen, safe to say both these teams trying to get back into the win column. Bucknell dropped a straight set loss last night at home to a really good American University team. Loyola also fell in straight sets to Lafayette. So again, a great chance for these two teams to try and bounce back today.
Yeah, surely. It was a short night, right? When you play some good teams, it really makes for a short night. You got to turn around, come back, forget about the losses. Both teams try to get back and remember who you're playing today. It's not the team you were playing last night.
Yeah, I think when you look at today, I think one of the things that everybody on the court gets to bring is how well do we bounce back today? Because they're all in the same shot. You know, everybody's going to get after it today, I believe. And we'll go from there.
Yeah, go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, we'll see how this one shakes out for sure. And again, for both these teams trying to inch a little bit higher in the standings in Patriot League play. But we both saw, or all three of us saw, Bucknell last night in a tough, like we said, quick loss. But again, Loyola, a team that has struggled against Bucknell recently. So I'm sure for the Bison, maybe a welcome sign going up against a team they've had recent success against. Gabby Verdicchio gets us underway here for Loyola. And Kostick with a strong swing to start. Hamilton turned away, and a good start up front for Riley Tucker.
And that's what it's going to take. Tucker's going to have to get in this game right away. Nice block, real far over the net.
And Tucker has been really good. A couple matches removed from a season-high 7 blocks. Bella Rodriguez back at the service line. And a beautiful serve. An ace for Bucknell and a quick 2-0 lead.
I think Greg and I were talking, all of us were talking about the serving today will be a big factor.
Yeah, I think so as well. You know, if you look at Loyola as a team, they have 88 aces for the season. Downside is they have 82 serve receive errors. So it'll be interesting to see how each team reacts to each other's new serve.
Tucker certainly reacts well there, and the lead swells even further for Bucknell. Bison trying to avoid what could be a third straight loss after losing last night to AU.
And right away, coming out of the blocks, you can sense that Loyola's not running the kind of tempo that we saw last night from American. Might work in the favor of the Bison. Having seen all that speed yesterday, things might look a little bit slower today.
Hamilton with a good serve. Tucker on take 2 runs into tape. Taria getting the start today, and she is able to drop it in for a point. That's something that Coach Jeremy Young switched up the lineup. Taria came in late last night, getting the start today, and right now it's proven to be fruitful.
She came in a little bit late, but the little bit that she was in, I was impressed with what she was doing.
Kostick rejected. Addie Lowe rising for the turn away. 4-2 Bucknell leads. Sarah Tate comes in. Freshman from State College, Pennsylvania. A little bit of a homecoming for her. Only about an hour away from here in Lewisburg. Schaefer rocks back. Low. Touch back down. Sydney Schaefer climbing the ladder for that one.
That is my first time seeing Low, and after that jump, I think she's anything but low. She was really up in the air there. Fortunately, the timing on that block was a little better than her hit.
Here's Kostick. Schaefer, good timing up front. A foul with a good block with Secunda as well. Secunda again gets a piece. Schaefer, a foul with a good block and a poke.
No.
The point for Loyola, and the blocking up front has been incredible to start for the Greyhounds.
They are reading the Bison really well. They're getting out to where the block is before the hitter gets a chance to make a swing.
Elsie Affol just springboarding left and right. Reason why she is her high school's all-time leader in career blocks. Kostick too casual, and Loyola with back-to-back points. Greyhounds also trying to avoid a third straight loss. Started conference play 2-1, but have hit a wall since. Taria rejected. Morgan Crawford getting in on the block party. And this is a Greyhounds team that ranks last in the conference in blocks.
So I was just looking up the stats on this. Another block back. Just looking the stats up, and this is not the team that I expected at the net as far as the defensive blocks go.
Schaefer drags it through. Good effort by Hamilton, but the Bison finally put an end to the run. Caitlin Taylor comes back in for Bucknell. Back to the line is Taria. Had a tremendous senior season. 345 kills in her final year of high school, and has come here to Lewisburg. A good serve, almost fools Loyola. Crawford. Taylor, and another rejection. Goodness gracious, the Greyhounds with Addie Lowe leading the charge.
You know, right now, I'm looking at their blocks per set against all of their opponents. They're hitting at 1.5%. All of their opponents are at 2.2, so they're doubled up on it, and that's not anything that I was expecting to see out of them.
Throw the numbers out today. Schaefer with a bullet. Oh my! Traveling at the speed of light.
I don't think the block was going to take care of that one.
Schaefer had a tough time getting going last night against American University. A rare performance for her, hitting in the negatives for a player that has been hitting above 400 in 2 of the last 4 matches. Here's the former Patriot League Rookie of the Year at the line. Crawford. Taylor cranks it. Bison trying to extend the lead. Hamilton somehow dumps it in, and a happy accident benefits the visitors.
A little bit of magic right there. Got that inside the antenna when it looked like physics was against her.
There's Addie Huber. Taylor. Greyhounds can take a rare lead here. Taylor. Crawford. Great effort by Hunter. That's all that's mustered. And the Bison stay ahead. Bucknell has won 4 in a row against Loyola. Last time the Bison lost, it was a Patriot League tournament game in 2022. Trying to get a 5th straight win here today against the Greyhounds. Crawford. Taylor with a smash.
That was really set up nicely by the dig. That dig got right to a spot where the set could get out in the hitter's window. And it's fun to watch Taylor taking big swings tonight.
Yeah, her role has skyrocketed since September 12th. It has been a great piece for this Bison team. Hamilton soars in. Point for Bucknell, keeping now this 3-point separation at bay.
And we all know how big that 3 points are. We talk about that time after time, getting that 3-point advantage, trying to stay ahead. Anything in that spread's a bonus.
Caustic. Hamilton. Caustic finds a soft spot, the biggest lead of the first set for Bucknell.
And that's a tough swing to take when the set's coming over your off-hitting shoulder. It's got to get past your body into some kind of a hitting window. She manages to put some power on that.
Kaylee O'Connell, one of the top passers in the conference, airmails a serve, and a point gifted back to Loyola.
One thing I'm noticing is that Bucknell just has a little bit, even though Loyola has had some good blocking, Bucknell just hasn't stopped swinging, and I love that about that. It hasn't turned into a game of tip.
That's a good observation.
Gabby Verdicchio runs into the net. Keep this 4-point separation. Yeah, for how Bucknell lost last night, just a really tough loss. Just felt like the whole night the Bison were retreating with how fast AU was playing, and a stark difference today in the start for the Bison. Secunda, all Patriot League pick last year. Gets it on take 2, turned away by Tucker. Point for Bucknell.
This is a block for block match right now, and neither team is willing to flinch. So they're taking big swings, taking the block backs, keeping it in play. These are some impressive rallies going on right now.
And again, these two teams rank 8th and 9th in the Patriot League in blocks. Caustic.
There's a well-formed block right in front of her, but she was smart enough to take that across. A little bit of thumbs down on it, or thumbs up on it, and took it off of the inside blocker's arm. A little hard to defend from the back row when it comes off of deflection like that.
Maria Sanabia checks in for Loyola. Yeah, Caustic not set too much last night, so getting her involved early. Secunda glides it over. Tarja cleans it up. Sanabia. Loyola puts an end to the rally again.
And Greg, I think they decided they're going to challenge your what you're watching, because we just went to a 3-tip in a row.
Well, certainly these two teams are kind of playing into each other's hands, having to change those approaches at the net.
Getting the ball blocked back on you will do that.
Tarja.
Another tip.
15-9 Bucknell. And that takes us to immediate timeout. Bison trying to snap a 2-game skid and take this first set coming up next on the Bison YouTube channel. (15-9) Bucknell in front by 6, the biggest lead the Bison have had in this first set. Trying to claim this opening set and avoid what could be a third straight loss after starting conference play 3-0. Coach Quipo Tom, Greg Kimmel, Jack Ridenauer here with you. Secunda splits through, and the all-conference performer helps Loyola out offensively.
So Gregopedia, what number kill is that for Loyola?
That's number 3.
They've only had 3 kills in this entire set.
And they're hitting negative .087, opposed to Bucknell hitting 138. There's Tate at the line. She's had a season-high 3 aces 3 separate times. Tarja. Low. Caustic. Too gentle. And Loyola benefits.
And I think Caustic missed a good opportunity. Whether that was O'Connell's set, maybe dropped in a little bit too soon. She had a split block. Middle forgot to go. It was too late. She had an opportunity.
Tate trying to help her Greyhounds trim down on this deficit. Secunda with force. A little spurt for the Greyhounds out of the timeout, trying to make this now a 2-point separation.
Bison trying to find a handle on the ball. Got to get a little bit better ball control.
Caustic smashes but rejected. A full says not so fast. And Loyola on a 4-0 run can make this a 1-point difference.
Now, here's the thing. Caustic has this ability to go up over the block and high roll hard over it. Right now, she's taking big swings, and they're pressed over top. If she goes back to that high roll that she does, she'll go right over that.
Schaefer with a bullet. Reason why she's a 2-time all-conference performer and puts an end to the run for the Greyhounds. Safe to say, gentlemen, when she is served a pass on a silver platter, she puts it away. A full. Airmails.
A little misfire there. I think she was there before the ball was, hit it from behind her head. I think that one's out in the parking lot somewhere.
Hopefully not occupying a parking space. Those are coming at a premium today with it being homecoming weekend for Bucknell. Secunda glides it over, and Schaefer on first contact. I'm sure she would love to get that point back.
Yeah, that's just a little bit of a mental error. Connell's all the way over. She's about to dig that ball up. Just a reflex thing, just like a bug flying in your face.
Quite the reaction for sure.
That's how I always see it. When a player's doing that, Like there's no thought behind that. It's not like I'm going to go. It's just there. I better do something. I better do something with it in a hurry.
Yep. Something's flying at you. You got to react. Schaefer. Low. Rejected. Here comes Crawford, turned away by Schaefer. Low forces it through. Tarja. Greyhounds trying to pull within 2.
You want to win these long rallies.
A full shoves it. Tarja just poked gently back by Crawford. And again, the Greyhounds can pull within striking distance.
Yeah, those long rallies, they'll do a lot for you if you win them, but just on the opposite side of that, when you lose them, it takes a lot out of you. I thought that was a little misconnection between the setter and the attacker.
Dumped down by O'Connell, getting crafty. It feels like plays like that for Bucknell, they need to steal some of these points to keep Loyola off their heels.
Right. Well, you know, that long rally took a lot out of them. That little play there will give them a little bit more energy to get back into this and start pushing past that 3-point.
Low. Blocked back. Schaefer, that patent slide, and gets a tip.
It was a really interesting swing from her. That ball shot past her, and she almost sidearmed that thing like a Kent DeColvey, and no one has any idea what I'm talking about with Kent DeColvey. But
She looked like she was turning to double play.
that's it.
I was going to say he was a baseball player, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, my sports. Tarja airmails.
Sidearm swing, thrower. That's what she looked like on that swing.
Played for the Pirates back in the day?
Yeah, look at you. You weren't even born.
Probably wasn't even a thought. 19-16, Bucknell up by 3. But again, Loyola trying to close this gap down, and it works.
You know, we always tell our setters, or at least I do, and Greg does, you treat that net like the ocean. You never turn your back on it because things like that happen. That tip comes off tape right on top of her.
Leah Hunter at the line. That was her first ace in 3 matches. Loyola again can pull within 1. And it does. Crafty setter's dump by Secunda. And the Greyhounds, who have stormed back after being down by as many as 6, can even it up at 19. Joust. Hamilton. Greyhounds again can pull even. Crawford. Taylor with a bash and a tip.
She got touch on it.
Bucknell keeping that breathing room, trying to propel itself a little bit higher in the Patriot League standings after today. After a 3-0 conference start, have dropped 2 in a row, trying to get back into that win column. Hamilton soars in.
What a bomb. That was set up really well. Off of the block far enough that she had a nice wide open swing on it. The blockers weren't really in her window. She took a swing and scores.
Here's Huber. Tucker.
I believe that was a head digger on that one.
Keeping that breathing room alive for Bucknell. Bucknell has not lost to Loyola since November 22nd of 2022. That was a Patriot League playoff game. Hamilton.
Big block.
Tucker telling her, you shall not pass. And a timeout, Greyhounds. Safe to say, Loyola definitely senses this one could be slipping out of its hands.
They do, and what it comes down to for me and watching this is Bucknell still taking the big swings. Yes, they've been blocked. Yes, they've been blocked back. Yes, there's been a lot of rallies off of the block backs. But I don't think that it's deterring them from taking the big swings that we're so used to seeing out of this crew.
Yeah, I think the other thing that's helped them is, and I don't know if either of you saw this, but they've modified their serve receive from last night. With the introduction of a different outside, they've changed it just a little bit, and I think it's really been working.
Yeah, I think that Bucknell has been in system a lot more than what we saw last night.
Yes.
Again, we're not seeing the fast-paced offense that we saw yesterday with American, and I think that this is playing into Bucknell's hand. Again, having to play a fast offense last night and then getting in here today a little bit slower, things look a little easier to manage. Keeping in system is going to be the thing that's going to win this out.
Well, we've talked about how both of these teams are just win-starved at this moment. Loyola also on a 2-game skid. Greyhounds have really struggled when traveling outside of the Charm City. 1-5 on the road this year. Looking for some sort of road answer this Saturday afternoon, but right now Bucknell in front of its home crowd trying to take this first set. Crawford. Taylor. Crawford with a crusher.
And I'll tell you, something really impressive about Loyola. If you watch them in transition ball, they are moving pretty quickly. As far as physically getting into the positions they need to be in, they're moving really quickly, which is making the options a little bit more for them.
Still well within striking distance. Kostick with a rocket. Man, oh man, there's a reason why she was an all-conference performer last year. Has had 10 or more kills in 6 of the last 8 matches. This Bison team trying to set up set point and take this first set. Sanabia glides in. Kostick.
We're back to the finesse game.
Secunda. Tarja, pulled block, set point. Bucknell 1 point from taking this first set. And another timeout for Loyola. It has gone from bad to worse in the last few points for the Greyhounds. And again, it's safe to say they've had chances. They could have pulled within one. They could have tied and even taken a lead at times. Just Bucknell keeping its foot on the gas ever so slightly.
That's something that we're seeing today that maybe was missing a little bit last night. When they got pressed on last night, I think the Bison struggled a little bit to come back and press back. Now this time they get a little bit pressure from the opponent, and Loyola's coming at the Bison. They step up to the moment now instead of stepping back to the moment, which is what it felt like last night.
Yeah, and I like the fact that everything is not just predictable this evening from Bucknell. Like that, that's a really smart tool on the blocker to win that point. Last night we just saw a lot of balls going to 5 and 6. So I think they're using a little bit more of their tools that they have available to them.
Trying to see what kind of gadgets they can pull out of their toolkit here. 24-20. Bella Rodriguez, who's seen a major increase in her role at the service line. Fun fact, she's actually the first member in her family to play a college sport.
Well, she's doing them proud.
Absolutely. And can do her school very proud by snapping a 2-game skid. Hamilton. Tucker. First set to the Bison. 25-20, Bucknell takes it and takes a 1-set-to-none lead in the best of 5. Bison 2 sets away from snapping a skid and going to 4-2 in conference. Don't move a muscle. We've got second set action coming up next on the Bison Athletic YouTube channel. First set in the books as we march into the second. 25-20, Bucknell takes it. And now 2 sets away from going to 4-2 in conference. Coach Quipo, Tom, Greg Kimmel, Jack Ridenauer here with you. Again, Loyola had lots of chances in that first set, and it feels like maybe in this second set, these first few points are critical for the Greyhounds.
I think as that set went on, Loyola was losing the handle of the ball. Early on in the set, I thought they were insistent quite a bit. I thought they were doing a lot of stuff, especially their blocks, right? So that doesn't have to do with being insistent, but I thought their blocking was well. But I thought they had a good handle on the ball in the beginning, and it faded.
Caitlin Taylor gets us underway, and the opening point goes to Loyola. Well, certainly, Bison, when needed, have had to adapt to a little bit of a quicker pace. Question is, do you think it could eventually give too much into that quick pace?
I don't think it will. I think tempo is a really important thing to maintain.
An ace. Riley Hamilton sneaks it in to make it a 2-0 lead for Loyola. Riley Hamilton comes from a long line of volleyball players. Her older sister, Abby, a 2-time All-Patriot League performer back in the day for Loyola. Secunda. Here comes Caustic with force. Jaffe misses. Tarja, graceful. Bison on the board.
Yeah, and that, again, losing the handle on the ball right there. You had an opportunity to score if you're Loyola, and you misfire on your middle, who only had a one-on-one block, but that opportunity passed by with that missed set.
There's Cameron Lloyd has done a tremendous job this season coming in as the libero after the graduation of Jordan Hardy, the job she did for so many years. Caustic with a creep and a tooled block.
And that's what the Bison have to keep doing. Just keep it off the net, swing hard. Jump high, swing hard.
Lloyd's had a season-high 3 aces 2 different times this year. Had 21 aces last year. Right on cue, give her another ace. And the Bison take their first lead of this second set.
Yeah, we didn't talk much about her yesterday, but earlier on in the year, I was explaining, she has really impressed me to step into the role that she's been asked to take.
Low. Point for Loyola.
Yeah, that was a rare misfire by Caustic, pounding it into the bottom of the net. I'm not sure what she saw, what she thought she saw, but sometimes those happen.
Caustic with 4 kills this afternoon on 14 attacks. Here's Tate. Schaefer smokes it. Oh my! Not enough time to react.
No, you get Schaefer in system, 1-on-1, single block. She's going to win that just about every single time.
She averaged an impressive 2.5 kills per set last year, on her way to a first-team all-conference nod.
Well deserved.
Secunda. Great up by Rodriguez.
Opportunity.
Secunda right down Broadway.
Right, that's a replay of the misfire earlier on where he said, hey, if they would have connected, that would have been a point. Here they do connect. That was a well-run play, good timing, good setter-hitter connection.
Secunda can do a little bit of everything. She was top 5 last year in the nation in triple doubles with 9. Tarja puts a little extra English behind it, and the Bison back up by 1. And it's safe to say Tarja has been a huge difference maker in the lineup today as opposed to last night where she came in late. And like you said, Coach, she has been a huge difference maker.
Yeah, I would have loved to see her come in a little bit earlier. And, ooh, that's in. That's an ace.
She knows we're talking about her.
Yeah, I would have liked to see her come in a little bit earlier last night. I think, who knows if that would have made a big difference, but at least get her in shape to get in here today. And I think she's doing a heck of a job. Oh, another one.
Schaefer. Low. Schaefer on take 2. Point for Loyola.
Yeah, that set was out there in time, just a little bit low, so the swing came from outside, almost shoulder height. She tried to tool fingers, just missed.
There's Leah Hunter. An ace for the Greyhounds, and Hunter with her second this afternoon.
The bottom just fell out of that ball. I don't know if you could see it at home, but she got that just over the net. Once it went over, it just dropped.
Mention how she had not had an ace in back-to-back matches coming into today. Taylor, good effort by Hunter, but it's not enough. Bison back up a step ahead.
You know what? I like Taylor just staying calm, cool, collected, going after it. She's the smaller of the attackers out there, but she hits big.
Taylor. Crawford and a full. And now we see a full back as she comes off the court, but with her back in that rotation, felt like in that first set, that's where the battle up front was won by Loyola.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes here.
Point given right back to Bucknell. Just the second service error for Loyola in this match.
And it's not like they've been serving lollipops. They've been serving really tough.
I feel like both teams have been serving very aggressively. Taylor, but it's Crawford with the denial.
Yeah, that's almost the exact same thing we just saw happen the last time she swung. So they're getting out on her pretty far. She's got to figure out a way to get over or around that block instead of into it. I understand challenging the block. That's a really big block to challenge.
Crawford carrying some momentum from last night, led the team in kills with 10. And an ace for the Greyhounds and a rare lead for the visitors here in this second set.
Well, that's what it takes, right? Sets are brand new games. So you keep your composure, you come back in, you start at zeros.
Caustic. Verdicchio rolls it over. Caustic doesn't miss this time.
Right. And she can get up and overtop this block. So, you know, if I'm coach, I'm saying, hey, just she's hot. Keep feeding her, put the ball up high, let her go over the block.
Rodriguez back at the line. Has 9 aces this season. Secunda. So much speed. Did have a tough showing last night with just 4 kills against Lafayette. Had been on a streak of 5 straight of 10 or more. Both teams definitely have burned the tape from last night and are playing a brand new game here today. Caustic with another clobber.
Yeah, you get that ball in Caustic's hitting window, and she is a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, and I think she's a lot more comfortable with that set coming quicker to her. I think she likes to go quick.
Here's Lloyd. Balanced at 10. Bucknell leads 1-0. Trying to snap a small 2-game skid. Low turned away. Hamilton. Schaefer. Great up by Verdicchio initially on the first contact. Schaefer with another big smash. Jaffe. A rare long rally in this second set comes to an end with another block with Jaffe up front.
I just can't get past the blocking today. You don't see that much blocking in a game like this usually, and it is impressive to watch both sides, but especially the Loyola side. I'm trying to see where they are on block so far this 7. That's an impressive number for blocks.
Taria tools a block this time. Balance the score back out at 11. And again, these two teams rank 8th, Bucknell 8th, Loyola 9th in the 9-team Patriot League in blocks. So these two are living well above what the previous numbers have said about them. Either way, Bucknell trying to protect home court and avoid dipping below 500 here at Davis Gym. Low tools a block herself. And the Greyhounds recapture a small advantage. How tough can this be for teams when they're trading these points and just side out after side out?
I think it's a mental thing. You've got to be able to recover really, really quick in a game that's like this. Yeah.
Schaefer ties it back up.
Like that.
Yeah, you can have the memory of a goldfish, right? Just let it go.
Yep.
Lasts for a second and it's over.
I think that's what's been so impressive, too, about how both these teams have just flushed yesterday and a quick turnaround, not even 24 hours back at it and playing very well. Loyola back on top. Greyhounds dropped both meetings last year to Bucknell. Dropped in straight sets and then 4 sets. Season that really unraveled for Loyola quickly. A full punch back by Schaefer. Back to level playing field at 13. And Schaefer has just been so impressive. 118 blocks a season ago. Has been leaving her claim since her freshman year in the conference, Patriot League Rookie of the Year in 2023. Dumped over by Secunda and catches everyone at the campfire. When you got a player like that in Secunda that can do a little bit of everything, it can definitely be dangerous. A little perspiration as Huber awaits to put this ball in play.
Well, you know, when you talk about Secunda, you're talking about a 6-rotation player, right? She goes all the way around. She has double duty out there. She sets, she attacks.
Tucker with quite the attack. Buries it. I want to stay on that point, though. How tough can that be for a player that has to be in a 6 rotation like that?
I don't know if I call it tough, if that's what they're used to doing. I think they step up to both roles. And by the numbers, you can see she's doing a really good job of it.
Tucker forming a tandem block, and the Bison take a lead to the media timeout. 15-14 Bucknell trying to take this second set and go up a commanding 2-0 right here in Davis Gym. Back here inside of Davis Gym, 15-14. Bucknell clinging to this 1-point lead in the second set. Up 1-0. And trying to pick up a big win and move to 4-2 in conference. Coach Quipo, Tom, Greg Kimmel, Jack Ridenauer here with you in this nip and tuck second set. Lead has not swelled to further than about 2 points. Tucker crashes in. 2-point advantage for the Bucknell Bison.
That was a great play. And again, it all comes from a great pass, a great dig, staying in system, getting that ball right into her hitting window. One blocker, she wins.
Here comes Crawford. Loyola starting to trade points here with Bucknell.
Yeah, and I think it's a little bit like we talked about earlier with that big Bucknell block in front of you. You can't put the ball that tight on the net. Keep it back. Give your attacker some options. She took the inside option. Pays well.
Loyola sitting at 4-10 overall. Last year went 10-16. A team that in the late 2010s, early 2020s really benefited from some great players. Katie Forsyth, 4-time Libero of the Year. As Tucker just barely grazes it in, and it works.
That's one of those fortuitous misses. She jumped up. I think she really wanted to target that ball and blast on it. Was there a little bit early, was falling about the same time as the ball, but she was able to reach it, get it over the block.
Listed at 6'2" and using every centimeter of that frame. Secunda. Tarja. Bison trying to hand Loyola a third straight loss. Tarja runs in a tape. The Greyhounds can tie it up late here in this second set. But as I was mentioning about Katie Forsyth, 4-time Libero of the Year, graduate her. Lauren Link, multi-time all-conference player, graduate her. And so now you're starting to see some of those underclassmen step up for Loyola. The Greyhounds trying to go to an even 3-3 in the conference after dropping the last two. Tucker staring it in the face. She just floats in air.
It's amazing to see, isn't it? She just hovers.
If you're a setter, how fun is that to play with somebody like that?
Oh, it's fun because it sure makes your sets look a whole lot better.
Sure, she definitely covers up a lot of mistakes.
She's hitting for 600.
Secunda. Strong swing. One of the most versatile players in the country.
She's sitting for a 375 herself. So very respectable.
7 kills along with 3 assists, 3 digs. Reason why she had 9 triple doubles last year, which was top 5 in the entire country. Schaefer, aggressive. What an up by Hamilton, but Tarja puts it away.
I believe Schaefer thought the play was over, and the ball came flying back. Fortunately for her teammates had her back, stayed there facing the net, and was able to put it back down, but I think she felt it was over.
Well, Tarja definitely helping out, and now the Bison closing in on wrapping up this second set. Secunda punches it through. Tarja rips. Overpowers a full. The first time we have seen a full lose up at the net like that tonight.
She is really stepping up to the role. Just take a couple of big swings. She doesn't appear to be intimidated at all.
Another good serve by Kostick. Low. Tarja continues to have a great performance today. Secunda tools a block. Definitely has to fill the shoes left by Lauren Link, but doing it well, keeping her Greyhounds in this one. Here's the all-conference performer in Secunda. Schaefer down the line.
Wow. That was a missile. Very well timed, big jump, big swing. I think the libero might be having a little night terrors tonight, revisiting that one.
Well, Greg, you said it. Kostick likes to play fast, and it's safe to say Schaefer seems to want to play that same tempo.
When she runs that slide, she loves it to come fast.
And that's good. Kostick needs some numbers right now. She's going to get up into the plus side of things.
Low misfires. 4-point Bison lead, now 3 points.
What a
From
timeout.
taking this second set, and a timeout for Loyola. So if you're in this timeout, what's the message? And again, especially if you look at the context, the Greyhounds have not won here in Lewisburg in about 4 years. They've dropped 4 in a row to Bucknell, 2 in a row this season. What do you say to your group to just try and revitalize them?
Wow, that's a big ask, but I think I don't think they're that far out of it. You know, it's 4 points, but it's just 4 points, and the game is played 1 point at a time. So I don't think that they are out of this by any means. And I think that confidence that, you know, let's continue to go at them. Let's do what we do best. I would probably lean a little bit more on Secunda with her leadership role.
Yeah, I think Secunda's the go-to person right now. Right now, she's in the back row, but I think that when they're in system, they do great things. And so much like we saw yesterday, how American continued to push BU out of system, I think right now, if Loyola can say, wait, we've got to focus a little bit more on getting a clean ball up that we can work with, keep us a little bit off of the net, a little bit off of those big blockers, and we'll be fine.
Time is certainly running out for Loyola, though, to make some sort of comeback. But a good start there out of the timeout. Greg, I know you always say 60+% out of a
62.
timeout. 62?
Yeah, it's like 62,
Yep.
63% of the time you win the.
Well, Coach Pittenger is right in that 62%, winning a point out of the timeout, but now can Lowe build on it?
Oh, look at that.
1 step forward, 2 steps back, and the Bison again with another chance to set up set point. Team that started 3-0 in conference, have hit a wall since facing reigning champ Colgate last weekend. Trying to get back in the win column here this weekend. Crawford. Taylor. Caustic. Crawford. Good reaction by Schaefer. Taylor. A miss.
I think we're going to probably see a replay here. Looked like there's a little bit of a touch.
So Coach Jeremy Young does go to the challenge card, and there's some very animated faces on the Bison side that they are completely convinced it was tipped.
Yeah, it looked like Lowe pulled a nice move trying to get away from the ball, but maybe her hands just didn't move as quickly. They're pretty convinced that there was a touch, but you know, when you look at Lowe herself, and again, this is where you start talking about the CRS, the challenge review system, has really created a lot more honest players.
Yes,
so,
absolutely.
Oftentimes you'll see a player look back at her bench or her coach or her team and go, "Oh, yeah, I got that."
Mm-hmm.
But I think on this one, I'm not convinced she touched the ball. Her demeanor doesn't show it.
So the call is overturned.
Okay, I stand corrected.
A tip is the call. So the Bison with set point here.
And I think Lowe and I are on the same page. It didn't appear that she touched it, at least from here, and I'm pretty sure she thinks she didn't.
Well, the Bison now 1 point away from a commanding 2-0 lead. Loyola lives to see another point.
And this is the point where, you know, the ball doesn't lie. So I think that's what a lot of people over on the Loyola side are thinking right now. And, you know, we don't have the review up here, so hard for us to say.
Taylor.
Ooh.
Second set to the Bison. 25-20, and Bucknell up 2-0. Let's go to the third. Bison trying to wrap it up in straight sets and get back into the win column. Coming up next in Davis Gym. 2 sets down. Let's go to the third. 25-20, the score in each of the first two, both going to Bucknell. Coach Quipo Tom, Greg Kimmel, Jack Ridenour, all here with you. And Bison are closing in on snapping a losing streak, and it feels that a huge win could really lift the Bison up a little bit confidence-wise, as Taylor gets the opening point off the tip.
And I think you're right. Both of these teams are looking for something to springboard off of into the next couple of weeks coming up again. It's a tough time of the year. You've been together for a long time. You've been battling a lot of teams, and especially Bucknell. They've been battling some big teams and getting bounced around a little bit in the non-conference season. So they're looking for something to springboard them up a little bit, generate a little bit more energy.
Tarja and a roof built by Sanabia and Hamilton. Yeah, to your point, Coach, Bucknell was on the road until September 19th, literally 2 weekends ago, playing in its home opener. Trying to stay above 500 at home here after today. Eva Nepkin, who's checked in, takes a hack, glides it over. Kostick through the block. Sanabia smacks it.
All right, now Kostick's got to find a way to score some points here. She's trying. They're hanging on her, making it a little bit tough. She's just hitting for I think she's hitting for a total 0 right now. But you got to keep feeding her a little bit. She's got to find a way to score.
Tucker. And a good response. And Riley Tucker, that is, could be a player to kind of maybe help balance out Kostick a little bit.
She is. She's banging today, right? She's hit for over 600 right now. But I think that will help take some of the pressure off. So if you could feed her a little bit more, secure that middle blocker defending the other side, and then get the ball quicker out to Kostick, I think she'll score some pretty major points here.
Secunda misses. Bucknell back in front.
You looking for another challenge? Go ahead.
And it looks like that is the case.
Yeah.
So Leah Pittenger is challenging whether it was tipped up front or not.
It's her second challenge.
Coaches, if I'm not mistaken, get 3 challenges, and if you win it, you keep it. If you lose it, you lose it.
Mm-hmm.
So
she's down to 2 now.
She's down to 2, yep. And it also senses, I get the sense that if you're Loyola, you want to use these challenges, especially in this situation. Again, still not out of it, but down 2 sets to none, you're backed into a corner.
Yeah, I think it's not only that, but right now it's a 1-point game. And this could be the difference between 3-3 and 4-2. And they both feel differently this early in a game.
And Loyola's looking for energy. Right now, the energy's been all sucked over to the Bison side of the court. If you look over here, you got a lot of dancing going on over on the Bison side. You look over Loyola, the bench is a little bit quiet. They're just talking and looking over here. So this could be a momentum shift, an energy changer. And that's what you want your team to do. You want your team to find some way to energize themselves. As a coach, you can't do it. But you've done everything you can up until now. Once they get on the court, it's up to them to find that energy to be able to come back. A little bit of a long look at here. With the R2, Steve Fedorov checking out on the big screen. And I could see he's zooming in here to see if there's any kind of a touch.
Yeah, certainly not an open and shut case.
No, and you want to get it right. Right, those challenges are for the match, not the set. So they carry through.
Yep. That could be important. Again, if Loyola were to take this set, it could be something to look at moving into the hypothetical 4th. So the call is upheld, stays with Bucknell. And now Coach Aaliyah Pittenger down to her final challenge.
So now if you're Loyola, you've got to find some way to get your team energized. A good pass, set, and attack, that might do it. There you go.
Secunda gets the point on the lift.
She hits a heavy ball. You could see her push the blockers back on that. That's an impressive swing.
Yeah, and it's a player that last year had 244 kills and 428 assists. Talk about doing everything. Goodness me. Pinballs around and the Bison still clean it. A full. Lloyd. And the point goes to Loyola as it hits the pin. Looked like initially it was going to be rolled Bucknell point, but not the case.
No, line judge stepped right in and said, ooh, not so fast. Here's what I saw.
Schaefer misses.
Okay. And you can see Schaefer trying to calm herself and her team down, just going, woof. Stay energized, stay in it. That was just a couple of errors. Let's get back.
A full pushes it back down. And now we're starting to see Loyola pinpoint in this back corner looking for Caustic.
And they're starting to pull the energy back to their side. They've got a 3-point lead right now. Now they have a little bit of breathing room to start working.
Biggest lead Loyola has had in this entire match.
Another misfire.
And again, it's off these serves. We saw it last night with how AU just did a great job putting in serve after serve. And right now, Addie Huber's doing the same thing.
And it looks like Bucknell wants to stay with banging the ball. That's good. That's impressive. You don't want to fall back into the total finesse game. There's some hustle.
What a up by Hamilton.
It's a long way.
Oh,
and it's
my.
good. Oh.
And Schaefer still puts it away. Gives so much credit to Gabby Verdicchio going all the way nearly to the wall.
And I'm telling you, that fortunately for Bucknell, did not fall on the side of Loyola because that would have energized that team to the nth degree.
Oh, now the 1 step forward, 2 steps back goes over to Bucknell, and Loyola grabbing full control of this third set.
All right, now again, a little more breathing room. They don't feel as pressured. They can start doing a few things, control the ball, control the pace.
Loyola trying to avoid what could be a 3rd straight loss. Schaefer, Secunda eats it up, dumped through by Huber, and Nepkin annihilates it.
You know, as an attacker, that's one of those moments that just opens up big. Like there was no blocker. It was almost like a slow pitch softball that she was hitting to the fence.
Secunda can't get creative, and the point goes back to Bucknell.
So you'd be surprised how many players have that opportunity on those slow pitches and drive it to the bottom of the net or out of the back door. But that was an impressive swing.
Here's Tarja. Bison trying to pick up a big win, go to 4-2 in conference. Taylor comes screaming in.
Wow. That arm swing of Taylor's right there is something that if you just sit back and look at that, so you could tell why she's in there playing. What an impressive speed of that arm.
Yeah, that was impressive. That was underneath the block on the inside. That was impressive.
Tarja with an ace. She has been impeccable at the line today. You both mentioned it. She has been the difference from last night to today.
Yeah. You know, you need those difference makers. Somebody off the bench, somebody to come in, somebody that's going to turn this thing around for them. She was good last night in a couple of roles that she got to play last night, and now today there's another ace.
An absolute laser. And the Californian bringing some of that sunshine here to Lewisburg. All of a sudden, the Bison can tie it back up after trailing early. Trying to take this one in straight sets. Now Loyola just trying to get out of this rotation. Point goes to Loyola, and even some of the coaching staff for Bucknell is up and trying to say it was in play, but instead, saving the challenge.
Well, I think Coach looked to the left, and some of his players are right on the line, and I was watching them. They're like, no, that was in. The ones that are looking down the line, save the challenge, Coach.
Schaefer. Hamilton works it through. Taylor. Hamilton. Tarja. Hamilton with a good up, but a foretouch. Bucknell takes the point. And it looks like on Tarja's swing, too, she's getting some sort of roll that it's just dying so fast.
She's got a lot of top spin on that one off of the back row attack. And when you look at the total points gained, she's the leader right now for the Bison.
11 points for Tarja, 8 kills. Puts her one shy of her career high of 9 she set against Mercyhurst. Hamilton trying to find some revenge. Both teams trying to snap some losing streaks today. Crawford. Not enough real estate.
Yeah, that was a little tough. Connell tried to take and put that back to the middle of the court. It was real tight to the net. There wasn't much you could do, but just got a little too much on it and sent it out the side.
But Sarah Tate back at the service line. Greyhounds trying to grow the advantage. O'Connell. Hamilton. Sanabia. Point for Bucknell. A net violation. At least, presumably it is.
He's calling, couldn't quite make out who they called in the net.
Well, based on Maria Sanabia's facial expression, I wonder if she was the one called for it, and she's looking around like, what did I do? But again, her coach down to her final challenge, deciding to save it. Good setter dump again by Secunda. Greyhounds trying to avoid going to 1-6 on the road and slipping further down in the Patriot League standings. An ace. Give it to Verdicchio, cashing in another big-time serve. This is a big match for both these teams. Loyola wins, pulls even in a tie with Bucknell in the standings. Taylor, big-time boom.
I am really impressed with her arm swing. I didn't see it so much yesterday. I'm not sure if it's because the sets were at a different spot and she wasn't really comfortable taking those big chops, but her arm swing was really impressive.
Bella Rodriguez. Secunda slices through the block. And we talk about it too, gentlemen, that three-point limbo, and now Loyola has grabbed full reign of it. Feels like they're winning a lot of these points off runs too.
Yeah, and Secunda, talk about impressive. She is really leading her team as their top point getter in this match.
Sanabia drags through.
Coach is looking for a throw on that one.
Secunda, whacked back by Tucker. Nepkin, too much. Bison back within 2. Trying to get a 5th straight win against Loyola. Give a lot of credit to this Greyhounds team, fighting the whole way through. Suffered a tough loss last night. Dropped the first 2 sets today, 25-20, but trying to keep this match alive for one more.
This is the best front row right now for the Bison.
And Nepkin somehow gets through it, and we get to a third media timeout. 15-12, first time today that Loyola has led going to the media timeout. We'll see if the Greyhounds can keep it alive next in Davis Gym. (15-12) Loyola leads coming out of the media timeout. Bucknell up 2-0, trying to pick up a 4th win in conference in the first 6 conference games. But Loyola trying to put a pin in that. Sits on the tape for Kostick. Nepkin knifes through. Nepkin did not play the first 2 sets, but she's been really good this season. Just a few matches removed from a double-double against Navy.
Kostick just looking for a way to generate points, taking big swings.
Bison looking for some answers here. Nepkin. Kept alive, but no. They say it touched the floor.
Yeah, that was down, and I think if Coach Jeremy calls for the challenge, I believe he's going to lose it. He calls for it.
And so he goes for the challenge.
Yeah, now from my vantage point, I'm sitting straight off of the court, right about where her hand was. It looked like the ball hit the floor and she was curling her knuckles at the same time. I think it was ball, knuckles, and up. But I'm 0 for 2 today, so why should this one be any different?
Certainly a different approach for a lot of these coaches with the replay system somewhat new, again, in kind of the grand scheme of things. And I'm sure also, as we're starting to see, these coaches have to be very mindful of when to use these challenges, whether or not to listen to the players, because as we see, Loyola down to its last challenge.
I think it is something that's really helped the game come along, and the game's always coming along. There's always something new coming along. If you look at the professional levels now, there's no line judges, right? Everything's done by laser, and much like tennis, right? So whether AI is going to take us out of the business or not, I don't know. I think we're still going to be safe. But when it comes to things like that, it's interesting to see how pure the game has to be played. Hey, I'm 1 for 3.
All right. Hey, if you played baseball, you'd be a Hall of Fame baseball player.
Or volleyball.
Or volleyball, that's true. 17-12, it's the biggest lead Loyola's had in this match. The biggest lead has been 6, and that was Bucknell early on. And Kostick just can't get anything to go. What do you say if you're her setter to try and settle her down?
I still think that she wants to go fast. I don't know. I would like. I think she. If you look at the difference between her hitting on the outside and hitting on the right side, she's probably hitting positive from the outside. I don't think she is as comfortable right now on the right side.
Yeah, I think the big points that she did make were as a left side attacker. And then move back to her normal position on the right side. I think they have her scouted out a little bit. So they know that she's a big point getter. They go and park on top of her. Right now she's hitting negative, which isn't something I'm used to seeing.
How do you feel that they can continue to get Tucker involved? Because let's face it, she's got 10.5 points. She's got 8 kills, hitting .615. I feel like you've got to get her a little bit more involved.
Yeah, I think it comes back to the serve receive. That's got to be good. It looks right now like they're actually targeting Kostick as well, and that's adding a little bit more pressure onto her because I have to pass before I can transition and then go swing. So I think if they were to modify their serve receive maybe a little bit, allow allowed Lloyd to have a little bit more floor space to get a good pass up, then we get these middlers involved a little bit more. There we go.
Tarja. Nepkin. 7-point lead for Loyola. It's grabbed the reins of this one, and a lot of stunned looks over on the Bison side.
It's the ebb and flow of the game. There's momentum is everything.
An ace.
Luck is part of everything.
Well, Huber getting some luck there, using her surroundings to her advantage. And now we see Coach Jeremy Young go to the bench again. Stephanie Arrow comes in to take out Kostick. We saw this late last night against AU, and Arrow came in, gave great minutes and great effort, especially using her frame up front.
Yeah,
Well, another ace.
Yeah, I don't know that it's actually Kostick. I think she's being targeted pretty heavy. I think that there's a lot being pushed against her. But I'm not actually sure it's her. We'll see how this goes.
Schaefer, poke back, gets it again. Secunda. Bucknell trying to pull itself out of this hole. Somehow extracted by Hamilton, and then Secunda with the exclamation point.
And again, we talk about the ebb and flow of this. So right now, Loyola's putting in the little extra effort. They're going to take a timeout here. Loyola's putting in a little bit of extra effort, and that effort often turns into some lucky play. So so we talk about this, that luck is about the effort that you put into it. So, and I think we're seeing Loyola right now putting in a big effort to stay alive in this match, and it's successful.
Well, at this point, it also feels that Loyola, again, dropped the first 2 sets, but it felt the whole time it was in it. Never felt like Bucknell really got a grasp of those first 2 sets, came to life when needed, up 2-0 right now, but maybe Loyola took a little bit of getting going and now starting to find itself in full form.
And again, if we look at the numbers, the usual suspects aren't where we would have thought they would have been at this point of the game for the Bison. So we'll see what goes on. There's a couple of personnel changes here on the floor. We'll see if that generates some points or some energy. And it's going to take a good pass here. They've got to get started in system with a pass if they want to start rolling back into this set.
10-point lead, biggest lead either team's had in this match. Loyola trying to keep this match going an extra set. And Tarja right out of the timeout. Good way to try and ignite a little rally.
And that's what happens. You got to go to your hot hand, right? Tarja right now leading the Bison with 12. That should be 13 soon. She's doing a really good job. So you got to go to the people that are getting points.
Here's Kostick. Nepkin. Off of Lloyd's shoulder. Not much she can do with it. And the Greyhounds, for the first time tonight, can set up set point here in the third.
Yeah, what you're looking at here is right. They've got a lot of weapons. They got a lot of offense. They're running a 6-2. They've got 3 hitters up front all the time. They're moving the ball around fast. So it's working in their favor right here.
Tarja, the changeup, fools the Greyhounds. But this is quite the deficit for the Bison to fight their way back from.
Right, and like we were just saying, you got to go ride the horse that got you here. And she's been really top-notch in this match so far.
Tarja now up to 11 kills, 2 more than her previous season high. Puts in a great serve, but just too much. And it's set point for the Greyhounds. Loyola can take this set and force a fourth.
One thing Tarja has to do is brush that off. She's been doing really well. She doesn't want to take that negativity into the next set if there is one, which it sure looks like there might be.
Dumped through by O'Connell.
O'Connell said not yet. She must have heard me talking.
But I love the fact that that after that missed serve, she came back with a great serve receive.
Yeah, they targeted her.
Yeah.
Smart thing to do. I would have called her number 2.
Here's Schaefer trying to salvage this fourth set. Can't do so. And it's handed over to Loyola, 25-15. Greyhounds take the third. We go to the fourth. Bucknell up 2-1. The Bison trying to wrap it up. The Greyhounds trying to force a fifth. Coming up next inside of Davis Gym. Two sets to one lead for Bucknell, but Loyola has forced this fourth one, taking the third 25-15. In what was truly a dominant third set for the Greyhounds, out-hit Bucknell 387-185. Coach Quipo Tom, Greg Kimmel, Jack Ridenauer here with you. Both teams trying to snap some two-match losing streaks, but right now it feels that the momentum has slowly swayed in favor of Loyola.
But you know, this is a crazy game.
Absolutely.
That momentum can swing at any second back the other way and then back again. So a lot of game left to play.
Caustic, and a good start for the Bison.
And a good start for Caustic. She needs that right now, hitting for a negative 0.45. Usually a real big hitter, gainer for their team. So hopefully that'll get her back into the game a bit.
Caustic on the season hitting 184. That her 7th kill. Sanabia whips it through, even at 1.
It was a really clean one-handed set. Little Statue of Liberty play almost. Nicely done.
There's Riley Hamilton. McConnell has to run quite a far way, but gets it through. Secunda, misfire. Certainly feels after that exciting first two sets with the blocking, both teams have kind of gone a little quiet at the net.
haven't seen a lot of blocks in the last set. We'll see what happens here.
Here's Lloyd. Nepkin. Caustic.
There you go.
Just the player you want to get going if you're the Bison. She's had double-digit kills 8 separate times. Give her now 8 kills this afternoon. And what has been a pretty widespread offense for the Bison.
Now she's hot, so you want to keep feeding her.
Great effort by Secunda. Goes through the table, and Caustic goes through the defense.
Right, you know, as a coach, you stay away from, you tell your setter, stay away from distribution. We're not looking for distribution. We don't need to be even. Even's not fair. Give it to the kid that's getting you the points. And right now, Caustic really starting to feel it a little bit more. Maybe she's feeling the pressure. Maybe she knows, hey, you know what? I've been struggling this game. They've been targeting me. I'm going to step up to this. I'm going to become what I always have been.
And she's been playing really fast, too.
Yeah, it appears that they sped things up a little bit for her, and she's willing to, take this game at least on her shoulders and say, bring it.
Bison trying to take this one in 4 sets. Go to 4-2 in conference. An ace, another one. Cameron Lloyd feeling confident, and for good reason. She has played some tremendous volleyball this season as the new libero.
I really like that kid. I've been watching her last year and this year, and she's really doing a nice job.
All-state player out of the state of North Carolina. Sure, she's maybe not too happy with how UNC fared today. Hails from Chapel Hill. The Tar Heels, last I saw, took a tough loss in college football today. But we've got college volleyball, and Secunda has a second hit.
Oh my.
But you know what? Rodriguez says, I'm going to just shoulder it back over.
That's a shoulder dig, almost shoulder dig kill. But she dug that over, and that's the problem with taking a big swing at an overpass, right? If you put it down, it looks really good. If you don't, the opposite.
Got a little overzealous, and the Bison opening up on a 6-1 run here in this 4th set. Schaefer served, and a free spot. 6-point Bison lead, and a timeout for Coach Pittenger. She's seen enough. We'll do the same. 7-1 Bucknell, trying to wrap this one up in 4 right here on the YouTube channel for Bucknell. Seven to 1 Bucknell, putting pedal to metal in this 4th set. Up 2-1, and trying to go to 4-2 in the conference and gain an extra game on Loyola in the standings. Sanabia misses. Lloyd matrixes out of the way, and it works. And Loyola looking around like, how did that not hit Lloyd's head? But that's the case. And Cameron Lloyd just putting in absolute darts from the line. Nepkin with a lot of force. She's been a bright spot for Loyola in the back half of this match, gentlemen.
Yeah, again, it's one of those things where when you want to be successful kids step up, and I think that's what she's doing right here.
Tarja turned away. It's Secunda Back-to-back points for the Greyhounds.
A nice big solo right on her. We'll see how she responds, if it affects her.
Greyhounds trying to win in this building for the first time since 2021. Schaefer rocks back. Tarja. Secunda. Tarja again, but it's rejected. A full and Secunda combining on the block.
And I'm not so sure that's her fault. That's a little bit of a trap set. They were over there to block the ball. The ball was really tight to the net. She had not a lot of places to go with it.
3-0 run for the Greyhounds. Ends with a point by the Bison.
Had it been a few years ago and pursuit was still in, I think Segunda may have gone for that ball. But without the pursuit rule anymore, yeah, she held up, didn't take out the R2.
An ace for Caustic. Her first tonight, the Bison's 7th in the match. Bison trying to put themselves in a top 4 spot in the Patriot League after today. And Nepkin just got lost in the mix.
Yeah, thought she was going for a little finesse shot, but about 6 inches too low.
Secunda. Bucknell taking full advantage of the self-inflicted wounds by Loyola.
Yeah, I think that was the right idea. I think the execution was a little off on the set. She got past her hitting window and got a little jammed up with it.
Nepkin pulls a block.
That was in a hitting window.
She's had 10 or more kills 5 separate times this year. She's got 8 this afternoon. The only one close to Secunda in the team lead with 13. Overpass chance for the Greyhounds. Crawford rifles it through, and Lloyd with great hustle.
Man, Lloyd.
Crawford with great approach, picking her spots. Crawford coming off a team high 10 kills last night. Trying to help her Greyhounds inch a little bit higher in the Patriot League standings. Dumped through by O'Connell. And it also feels that energy that Loyola had to put through in the third set, maybe fatigue sets in here in the fourth.
It's hard to stay at that level, right? So you know they're not going to stay up at that level. They're going to come down a little bit. But you have to find a way to generate that level back, right? You don't go back out on the court with the same level of energy you just finished up with. You have to build it. And that's not the way to do it.
Crawford runs into the net.
The other thing that I've seen is that Secunda, she seems a little bit quieter this game. They really need her leadership.
Could her having to do so much be a part of that? Or again, like you said earlier, Coach, she's so used to it, it should be second nature.
Yeah, she's been around a long time at the game. I don't know that this is doing double duty is the thing that's getting to her. I think she's doing a really nice job.
Taylor. Nepkin, but it's out of play, and Nepkin is shocked. And now Loyola has only 1 challenge after losing the first 2.
All right, coach is going back, looking at her kids that were looking down the line. She trusts her players, and nobody's overwhelmingly saying, yeah, throw the card. Uh-oh. Well, this is something you don't see too often, and that's when when one of the line judges runs across. We're going to replay it. Not sure what that was about. And neither is anybody else on the court.
Well, we'll pretend like it didn't happen. It's a 9-point Bison lead. Emily Kearney has checked into the ball game for the Bison. Puts in a good serve. Schaefer drops it in, but hits the pin. But now this feels like the roles have reversed. It's Loyola now in this deep hole as opposed to being up big in the third set.
Yeah, and it is a deep hole to try to dig yourself out of. So when you end up in here, you don't want to keep digging. You want to be able to find some control of the ball. Maybe you're not going to do as many risky things. We'll see how this serve comes out.
Nepkin with an ace.
Yeah, she skimmed over the tape. That's a little hard bar, or a ball that's hard to handle when it skips off like that. And it wasn't slow either.
Loyola trying to keep Bucknell out of a potential three-way tie for second after today in the conference. Crawford. O'Connell. Nepkin reads it well. A full misses. Bison take advantage and double up on the Greyhounds.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that set where the set placement. It was a little off, but from my vantage point, I couldn't tell how far it went past her.
Yeah, well, I love the idea though of pushing that.
Brenda Guy with the serve, dumped through by Secunda, and she looked over at her head coach Aaliyah Pittenger, and Coach Pittenger said, "Just push it over." And clearly, that resonated exactly into that point.
Yeah, and that's a good point. You can tell when the opponent is buckling down. They're trying to keep that ball from getting hit hard, and they want to dig it. And sometimes that works against you. You can't get to the soft drop into the middle.
Good serve from Sarah Tate. Taylor rocks back and tools a block. Bison closing in on wrapping up this match and going to 4-2 in conference.
Well, Taylor's been kind of quiet lately, but good to see her coming back alive right now.
O'Connell, too much mustard. Verdicchio checks in for Loyola. 19 assists this afternoon for Verdicchio. Taylor. Hamilton. Tucker pokes. Secunda. Overpass.
Again, here's one of those long rallies you want to win.
And the Greyhounds win it.
And that'll give them a little more energy right now, and that's what they need, being 6 points down.
Trying to resurrect themselves and force a decisive fifth set. Verdicchio runs into the service, or into the net, and that is serving error number 2 for her this afternoon.
Yeah, you don't want to stop your own run, and she knows it. You can see the disappointment in her face, but she's got to get back to business here and start throwing up good hittable balls.
Loyola hitting minus .043 in this fourth set after 387 in the third. Rodriguez runs into tape, point back for Loyola.
So now we're at a point of the game where Loyola's got to get a couple of short runs or one really big long one in. But you want to get out of this one at least with 3 points.
Here comes Caustic,
Oh,
fires
one
off her face.
Yeah, that's one of the tough things that you learn as a hitter. The harder you hit it, the faster it comes back when somebody's got a good stone block on you.
And another great fight here by Loyola. Timeout for Bucknell. And again, it just feels eerily similar to the first 2 sets. Bucknell wound up winning, but again, Loyola made it so challenging for the Bison to really pull away.
Yeah, Gregopedia, what do you got?
What do I think? I think we're in a rotation where we need to go a little bit faster. I think throwing that ball up, you've got 3 really big blockers up there. And I think that they need to do something that's a little bit quicker, maybe even a little bit out of the norm. But yeah, this is where your offense, I think, needs to speed up a little bit. And you've got some hitters out there that can do it.
Yeah, you have a buffer, right? You still have quite a buffer. So you can do a lot of things here. Deep corners are going to be open, high hits. You have room to try some different things. Or try the same thing,
Yeah.
as long as it works.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Right now, Loyola's got to fix something. Down by 5, down 2-1 here in the fourth, but that right there could be a problem solver. Sanabia and Secunda, and it's a 4-point separation after this was swelling into a near double-digit lead for Bucknell. Could patience be setting in to panic for Bucknell? Not the case there.
Right, and that's a frustrating thing when you get yourself in a position where it's really, you don't want to make any mistakes, that you're running into end game here. You don't want to stop your own run.
Bison 6 points away from this win. Nepkin somehow cleans it up.
That turned out to be a pretty awesome play from what it started. A bad pass, 2 people trying to go get it. One finally does. Actually does a platform backward set into the perfect spot for the attacker to put it down.
Schaefer has gone quiet the last few sets. Secunda and a tool block. Here come the Greyhounds.
And that was an impressive set by the libero, being able to get up in the air, off of the floor, put the ball up in her hitting window without violating the attack line rule that prevents the libero from being on the floor to do that in the attack zone.
Tarja finally puts an end to the rally, and it looks like, again, a second time where Loyola just has a communication breakdown.
Yep. Yeah, they have opportunity, and when you have opportunity, you have to be on top of it.
Yeah, I think one of the things that I've seen a couple times is the Loyola setters like to release early, and unfortunately that usually opens up a hole.
Schaefer off that slide.
That's a great dig.
Hamilton. Tarja.
Oh.
Poke back. A full. Makes it a 4-point separation. The Greyhounds not going down without a fight. Check that, a 3-point difference, and Casey Secunda can make this a 2-point difference after this was turning into a runaway for the Bison. Loyola can force a 5th set potentially. Schaefer, cross court.
Smart run right there. They pinned back Kostick. They knew who they wanted to serve to. Kostick answered with a great pass. They were able to run a number of things off of that, including that high percentage slide.
Bison now 4 points away from going to 4-2 in conference. Dumped through by Secunda, poked over by Taylor. Crawford's blocked by Schaefer. Forces it through this time. Free ball for the Greyhounds. Crawford with a missile. Point for Loyola.
Okay, and this is that 3-point lead we talked about. Right now, Loyola needs to chip out 2 points right here if they want to stand a chance to stay in this game. And Bucknell has to stop and keep this 3-point lead. Oh.
And Nepkin with a miscue. Again, another costly mistake to push it back to a 4-point lead. Bison can see the finish line, but the Greyhounds breathing down their necks.
Again, it's not over for the Greyhounds. All they need to do is get one up, get the ball in the air, and put it down on the floor. They're back in this.
Crawford. Taylor with a smash.
I think you got to credit Tucker with that one. That was such a great in-system pass, and Tucker called and was in the air. I thought it was going to go to the middle. So did everybody on the Loyola side. It gets pushed out to the pin, one-on-one. hard to stop.
Tucker does do a great job of that, kind of being a decoy verbally, if you will, at the middle.
A decoy, plus she jumps in the air. Like, she just about jumps out of the roof.
She's a threat either way.
So you're the middle blocker. You think, okay, they could still set her while she's hanging up there. I've got to stay here. And then that isolates your right side on their big outside attack. So really, really, really nicely run play.
Yeah, and that was all off the pass, which was a great pass.
Yeah, it's fun. It's an opportunity now for Bucknell to shut the door. This is where the Loyola team has to make a stand. They have to make a stand. They have to stay aggressive. They can't get pensive at this point in time, and they don't want to be tentative. You have to go after it. If you don't go after it aggressively now, you're going to have a problem over the next 2 points.
Bison can set up match point. 2 points away from snapping a 2-game skid after the 3-0 conference start. Hamilton,
There you go.
the flamethrower.
Right, that's what they need. They need that aggressiveness. They can't play tentatively right now. They need to be aggressive. So it's all going to come down to this serve. And this is where it's a little bit, this is where it gets a little bit tricky. You want to serve aggressive, but they've had 2 errors in the last 2 serves.
Just the player for Loyola to do it. Sarah Tate, and somewhat of a homecoming for her. Grew up an hour away from here.
No.
And right on cue, gets an ace. Comes from a long athletic family. Her dad, a tremendous player at Penn State. Jamal Tate, part of some NCAA tournament runs. And now his daughter trying to help her Greyhounds on a late rally. Tarja.
Oh, what an error.
Match point. Bucknell can win it.
Yeah, that was a big mistake. A block straight up in the air, and then everybody just watched it come down. Blocker had the opportunity to play the second time. Even go take a swing at it. You set yourself. She has the opportunity to do 2 touches on it, but
Bison can win it here. Crawford. Taylor. Loyola again leaves the door crack open.
Loyola fights off one of the match points. We'll see how they do now. A lot of pressure on the server here.
Verdicchio. Has 2 errors tonight. Caustic. Poke back. Take 2. Hamilton.
Trouble.
Loyola keeping itself alive. Trying to force a pivotal 5th set. And Bucknell's got to settle itself down.
You would think he'd take a timeout here. But
Ball game. Loyola hands this one over to Bucknell. A final 25-22 as the Bison take it in 4 sets and snap a 2-game skid. Got scary at the end, gentlemen, but ultimately Bucknell prevails in the end.
yeah, and hats off to Loyola. They really played a pretty good game here. Even when they were down, they weren't down. They didn't get out of it. They stayed in, they battled. I thought for sure we were going to end up, if that one more point, I thought we were heading into overtime on this one.
Yeah, I think one of the things that unfortunately hurt them, and I thought they played well, battling back in that 3rd set, but I think one of the things that hurt them was serving errors in crucial points in the game. You get a side out, you earn a point, and then unfortunately serve an error, and that can be a killer for a team, for momentum at least.
Right, and we talk about it all the time when we were practicing with our teams. We create those scenarios, as does probably every good team in the nation. Create a scenario where you're at 20s, and any error ends the game. And you want them to play aggressively, but also play within control so that you don't make those errors. Now, that's easy to do in practice. When you're here in front of a big crowd, when you're being streamed all over the world, there's a little bit more pressure than in practice. But I think you're right, Greg. I think that was a little bit of their downfall right there. Was you had opportunity and they left it get away.
Well, with pressure, you make diamonds, and Bucknell certainly shine bright here this Saturday afternoon. Bison take down Loyola in 4 sets, move now to 7-8 overall, 4-2 in conference. Very well put themselves into a top 2 spot in the standings, while Loyola slips to 4-11 overall and 2-4 in the Patriot League. For Stevie Cabell, Adam Contini, Coach Quipo Tom, Greg Kimmel, this is Jack Ridenauer signing off, never saying goodbye, just a see you later, right here and only inside of